Okay, you guys, I'm overlooking the water. I'm in Cape Town, South Africa, as you guys can see, right? I'm at a lookout point. It's just absolutely beautiful here. Love it. And I thought about time I did a video. So unfortunately, the Wi-Fi hasn't been the greatest where I'm staying, so it's time for me to do an update. Now, I've been promoting the challenge. As you guys know, when you do something, when you launch a project, you have to promote it. So I've been promoting the hell out of the challenge. But I haven't forgotten the rest of you guys who are still thirsty for information. I've had a lot of discussions with people a lot about what doctors say and how they operate. Now, there's a lot of doctors out there that really go down the rabbit's hole and they really try to help you. And then there's a lot of doctors that just don't, they're not really educated on how to do that. Sometimes it's putting the puzzle pieces together. So what's very interesting on the challenge is that people tend to ask a lot about, why, what are the macros? These are the questions I get. I was like, wow, people still don't understand the macro breakdown. What's the macro breakdown? Why no cheese, no nuts? Or why can't I use urine strips? Just real basic information. Or, can type 1 or type 2 diabetics do keto? And I'm like, yes, type 1 or type 2 people can do keto. I've done a video explaining that type 1s don't really ever truly 100% adapt. They create ketones, they use them. They're still very glucose dependent because you use a lot of insulin. You still have to use your insulin shots. So another thing that, whereas type 2s have the ability to go off their medication when they're able to, they still produce insulin, it's just not getting into the receptor sites. So that's something that's really important for you guys to know, that yes, type 1s and type 2 diabetics can do a ketogenic protocol. It must be done the correct way, and type 1s must regulate their ketones. You can't go too long. That's why you can't do the fasting thing as a type 1, because your ketones can become acidic as a type 1 diabetic. Now, when it comes to nuts, cheese, and I did a video about how cheese is coming from whey and casein, and these are growth factors to have a 75-pound calf grown to a 2,000-pound bull. Now, those who are addicted and have a dopamine response, they're not listening when I say that. We're not supposed to take the udder of a cow, suckle from it. It's not meant for us. And with all things in life, some things can be good with grass-fed milk, and then with some of the bacteria. And then there's a lot of things that are bad, like the growth factors. Unfortunately, there's too much of a correlation with casein and whey between autism, ADD, people who develop inflammation, gut issues, and there tends to be a big correlation between a cross-reactive response when you're dealing with wheat and the gluten, and then their bodies begin to mimic the same response in gluten that they do in dairy. Now, a lot of people are like, well then why, and really snarky, like, oh my God, so why can't I have cheese then? That's dairy. And I'm like, well, because the butter is mostly fat. There's a little bit of growth factor in there, but it's very, very infinitesimal. Most people don't respond on mostly pure fat. But there are some people who are so sensitive, even they cannot do butter, not even ghee. So yeah, everybody's got to test to see if they can tolerate those foods. Now, as you guys can see, the beautiful background, isn't that amazing? I'm just so lucky to be able to travel like this. So what else? Nuts. Again, there's a reason why people soak nuts. So if you Google nuts and phytic acid, it can rob people of minerals. And then animals have a hard time reproducing on nuts. And there's a reason why the shells are very thick. Everything you stick in your mouth, people, and at some point can be manipulated. Even stuff that grows from the ground, we can hybridize, genetically modify our foods, people. You can't just go to the supermarket and shove something in your mouth because we've been eating this for centuries. But we've also had issues for centuries. And today, people are a hot mess. There's a reason why my ass is almost 50 and I'm doing really, really well. Because nothing, and I mean nothing, can change me from what I know. Once you become educated, you're in the know world. There's no addiction. I'm stronger than all addictions. I have addictions to life, but my will to live is stronger. I don't get complacent. That's the reason why I went on this trip. That's the reason why I went on this trip and did a 30-day challenge, and I'm going to Australia all at once, because it's a challenge. And it's really hard. Don't think that this is fabulous. I have to work my ass off for this, guys. But I just wanted to do a review on some of the most commonly asked questions. You know, the nuts, the cheese, and you know, the macros. The macros are people don't understand. It's all, your protein has to be under 100. For men, it's under 100. Really, the range for men, it's between around 68-ish, depending on your demographic. Have you not worked out in years? Are you overweight? Are you older? Do you have less muscle development? So between 68 and about 85 for men. And for women, it's about 45 to about 55. And in some cases, when you're a taller, active woman, it can go up to 58 grams of protein per day, not per meal, per day. And then per meal, it can be between 45 and 18 for a woman, and about 20, the range is a little bit smaller for men, maybe about 18 to about 27 for men, max. So that's my new update on the top most commonly asked questions that I get in Cape Town, South Africa. Peace.